Hello.
So I have a very special guest on my podcast sofa today. It's Shirley. Hello, Shirley. You okay? Yeah. Isn't she adorable? So Shirley, I'm told you used to live with Nanny and Grandad, didn't you? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Do you? And then what happened after that? Can you remember?
Mm,
Or do you know? You went to live with Mummy, didn't you?
Mummy.
Yeah. So Mummy's going to become a foster carer. Do you know what that means?
We're gonna look after the boys and girls in our house.
Oh, that's going to be great, isn't it? And how are you feeling about it? Do you feel excited?
Yeah.
Yeah. And are you going to share your toys with them?
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. So tell me about your mummy. What's she like?
Mummy gives me lots of hugs.
Oh, that's lovely. And now you're going to have lots of other little girls and boys coming to stay with you because your mummy's got lots of love to share, hasn't she?
Yeah.
Welcome to this episode of Voices of Fostering. And today I'm delighted to be joined by Hayley. Hello, Hayley.
Hello, you okay?
Yeah, good, thanks. Are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, you have a fantastic story about fostering because your whole family are just sort of completely immersed in the fostering world, aren't they? So tell us about that.
So about 13 years ago, Mum and Dad decided to foster. I lived at home at the time, so I was very excited to have, all the new people coming living in our house. Yeah. So we've had lots of children over the years. And then I thought I want to do it as well. Now I'm in my own house with my own little girl. So yeah, now it's my turn to join in too.
And your little girl has also come from your fostering journey with your family. So can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so my little girl, she lived with my mum and dad from 6 weeks old. So we was obviously very close then. And then after about a year, I decided that we couldn't let her go anywhere. So I set off with the process. I fostered her at the beginning and then eventually I adopted her 2 years later.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank you.
So tell us a bit about what it was like growing up with foster children in your home. And can you remember when your parents first said that they were going to do it? Like how you felt?
Yeah, I think we were excited. We were obviously nervous because we didn't know these children that were coming to our house. We wanted to help them. We wanted them, to give them some of the good life that we had growing up. So yeah, I think we had questions and like worries and concerns that you always do.
Yeah. And how old were you then?
I think I was 15 maybe.
Wow, okay.
So yeah, still living at home.
Yeah. So as a teenager, you might be like, oh, well, I'm quite happy with my bedroom and how things are set up and,
Yeah.
and it's a bit odd, for things to suddenly change.
Yeah,
Did things change a lot?
No, not really. Obviously, these children come from different backgrounds. So, some you have to do extra things than with others. It's more, listening, having a good listening ear, loving them, joining in, making them feel part of your family. That's really important because some of them, don't come from, very good backgrounds. Yeah. So, you want to give them the best, introduce them to new things that they might not have done, etc. Yeah. So it is really rewarding.
Yeah. So from 15, fostering was a part of your life. Did you always think that you would end up doing it yourself?
No, because I worked full time and, I was going out doing my own thing as well, as you do at that age. And then obviously when Shirley came along, everything changed. So yeah. Definitely.
And were there things, we have a lot of people on the podcast who talk about there are a lot of misconceptions. People think, oh, I can't foster because of this or because of that. Were there things that you thought, I won't be able to?
Yeah, well, so as you know, I've got brittle bones. So that was my main worry. Like, will the fostering accept me? Will panel accept me for that? You know, what happens if I break and I've got a child, etc. Things like that. So I was worried, but, you know, the social workers and the assessors, they just, you know, put my mind at ease. You have a medical with your GP, they go through everything. And, you know, anyone can break a bone. So that was kind of, you know, no problem.
Yeah.
And I've got a great support network to help me. So, yeah.
Yeah, so it's been amazing. So you've just been approved to be a foster carer now. So obviously you've had your little girl for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
You've been approved to be a foster carer. Have you had any foster children come live with you yet?
No, I've not had any yet. We're still waiting. We're very excited. The bedroom's all ready. So I've spoken to the social worker and they've been looking at a few children, you know, potential match for me and Shirley.
Yeah.
So hopefully it won't be too long now.
Yeah, and Shirley's 3, is she?
She's 4.
4, right, okay.
Yeah.
So how does she feel about it?
She's very excited. She thought I was going to come back from panel with a boy or a girl. She left sweets on the seat for them, you know, really sweet. And she asks me, when is it going to be, Mummy? When is it going to be? But, you know, you just tell her it'll be soon. And
yeah.
So she is very excited, yeah.
Yeah, so any minute now, really.
Yeah, just waiting for the phone call, yeah.
Yeah. And how does that feel, Hayley? Like, you know, I suppose it's quite unpredictable, isn't it? You don't really know what's going to happen, but is that exciting or is that nerve-wracking?
It's exciting and nervous because, you know, I'm going to be responsible, you know, for these children that are coming into our house. And, you know, 2 children going from 1 to 2, you know, that's going to be a change. But yeah, very excited.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah. So tell us about the assessment process then. What was that like for you?
I really enjoyed it because this was the second time I've done the assessment process because I did it for Shirley and then now I did this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, really enjoyed doing it. I loved my assessing social worker, got on really, really well with her, and so did Shirley. She got on really well. So I feel like that made it a lot easier. No questions were, you know, ever too hard or, you know, they just answer, you know, I could... because I worked as well. So she did it in my time, which was really helpful. Like when me and Shirley were not at home, when we were at home, sorry. Yeah, so it was really well. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and you found it really convenient for your life. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't too much.
No. We did it on weekends. We did it on the days that I weren't at work. Did it sometimes when Shirley was in bed. So I could really concentrate over the phone, face to face. So we just made to fit our lives, really.
Yeah. And obviously, as you said, you've been through that process with adopting your daughter Shirley before. And we talk quite a lot sometimes on the podcast about how people can describe those processes as intrusive. But I suppose it has to be, doesn't it? How did you find it?
Yeah, it is intrusive because, you know, they do go back to your childhood, all your medical records, you know, DBS checks, everything. It is intrusive, but it has to be for these children. You know, we don't want these children in the wrong hands, you know. So definitely it does need to be intrusive, but it's for a good reason.
Yeah.
It's for a good reason.
And were there any parts of the process that you found really helpful? Because, you know, it does give you an opportunity to reflect back on your past, doesn't it?
It does. And
to make sense of things.
When I got my report, it was 93 pages long. And I sat and read these 93 pages and I was like, wow, that's my life in words. And, you know, you sit there and you forget some of the things that you've done because, you know, they speak to family and they speak to friends. So you get different bits and you sit there and you think, wow, my life, it's just all on paper.
Yeah.
But
I suppose that's quite a healing process, isn't it? 'Cause sometimes I have couples who say to me, oh, you know, we learned things about each other that we didn't know. You know, we feel more bonded to each other. But I suppose you can apply that to yourself as well. As you say, you read 93 pages about yourself and maybe actually you learned stuff about yourself that you weren't really aware of.
No,
do you know what I mean?
I think things that are just there, that when you see it in black and white, you think, wow, you know, I have come through a lot, or, you know, I have done really well with this. You know, like my biggest achievement, well, one of them was like learning to walk because I couldn't walk. And then my next biggest achievement were obviously adopting Shirley. And I just think, you know, you've achieved so much, but to see it in black and white, 93 pages later, it brings it to reality,
Hayley, to have someone say, like, my biggest achievement was learning to walk, like, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, so I had to have pins put in, well, I've got them everywhere really, and I couldn't walk till I was 7. My mum and dad, they really pushed me. You know, I used to try and walk and I used to break, but I kept going and going, and then I wanted to be a mascot for Bradford City, my favourite team, and I wasn't allowed my wheelchair on the pitch. So I thought, right, if I want to do it, I need to learn to walk. So that was my goal, to walk, and I did it. And then I've just carried on.
And you walked out onto the pitch?
And I walked out onto the pitch, yeah.
How did that feel?
Like amazing, because, you know, I was only 7. So that was just like the best thing ever. Yeah.
I bet it was.
Yeah, it was. And
That's
then
incredible.
that's just shown me that I can do anything that I want to set out to do.
Yeah. You really can, yeah.
Yeah.
And as you say, you know, going into fostering, you thought maybe you wouldn't be able to because of your condition, your brittle bones. But actually, you can, can't you? You can do anything.
Can. When I've spoken to the fostering, we just need to be careful about matching, you know, just to make sure that it is the right match for me and also for Shirley. But as long as it is, then, you know, perfect. Yeah, excited.
Yeah. And you say your second greatest achievement is Shirley. So tell me about Shirley.
Oh, she's wonderful. She can be a little monkey, as all 4-year-olds can, but no, she's absolutely wonderful. The best decision I ever made. You know, we moved city, we moved houses 3 times. Yeah. So she could have her own bedroom, because that was one of the rules. Yeah. And we did it. And now me and her live together in our own house, because I've managed to buy a house. Yeah. So yeah, it's just me and her. And yeah, she's come on so much, so well.
And what's really day-to-day life like then? Is she won't be at school yet quite?
No, she starts school in September.
Wow.
So yeah, she's very excited for that. Day-to-day life, it's just we're doing everything. We go to the park, she goes to nursery, we spend a lot of time with family and friends. She loves walking the dog, she loves swimming. She just loves all sorts. She's on the go all the time, you know, typical 4-year-old. So, yeah, never a dull day with her. So
you've got this really happy, lovely life with your 4-year-old daughter. You know, why did you want to bring foster children into it?
I wanted to give it to other children that, you know, that haven't got that, and, you know, help them progress in, you know, and give them the love that, you know, I've given to Shirley, support them, give them in the right direction and be that stepping stone in life for them. Yeah. And normally somebody like yourself who's just been approved would be probably thinking, oh, what's it going to be like when a child first comes to live with us? But you already know, don't you, really? Because you've experienced it all in your childhood. Yeah. But so, Mum and Dad were the main ones responsible. You could just sit in your room and chill a bit. And then say hi. But now, you know, it's going to be me that's going to the meetings and meeting the foster carers, meeting the families, also meeting birth families as well. So that'll be, you know, a first for me being responsible. Yeah. Although I've had like dealings with that, it's, you know, down to my responsibility. So. Can you remember what that is like when they first come to stay with you? Like what that first sort of night's like? Can you remember? Well, yeah, I remember the first little girl who came to live with us. Yeah, I think we'll remember her forever. She was so quiet. Yeah. She just sat there and I said, "You hungry? Can I get you anything to eat?" And all she wanted was a ham sandwich. Yeah. You know, and so we did that and then tried talking to her. I think she was nervous because she was only 7. You know, so you want to ask her all these questions and make sure she's all right. And I think she just wanted to, you know, come round and see what had happened because obviously she'd just been removed from family, so that were hard for her. Yeah. But yeah, it was exciting, but also nervous at the same time. And you must have seen some wonderful progress over the years as well, you know, like children or young people from the first day that they're with you to then, you know, years later. How long did you have children for? Can you remember? So I think my mum's longest one was 2 years, apart from the ones that she's got now. But yeah, like such a massive difference in confidence. Yeah. You know, they become outgoing. You really get to know them. And, you know, and they do open up. They tell you about their life. You know, and some of it's sad. You know, some of it's not, but some of it is. And you got to listen and accept that. And, you know, it was really nice. And we have... a lot of them are teenagers now and, you know, we're in contact when we have parties, they come back to parties. Yeah. You know, the mum's always told all of them that the door's always open. Yeah. And, you know, some of them have come back just to say hi, or one of them's actually getting married and we're going to the wedding. So that'll amazing. Be, you know, so lovely that he's now got his own family.
Yeah.
And, you know, we were a part of helping him achieve that.
Yeah. It's like your family just becomes massive, doesn't
Yeah.
it? You know, like
Yeah.
branches of a tree sort of just...
Never ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that must feel wonderful.
It is definitely. And, you know, people say, why do you do it? And I just say, well, why not?
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's just one of the nicest things you can do to help all these children that need it.
And do you think that it is sort of society's responsibility that we do need to look after these children that need looking after?
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like the more foster carers out there, the more help that these children are going to get. You know, there's all these children that need it, and you know, if we can step up and help them, because they don't ask for that. It's not their fault. So yeah, help them out if we can.
Can you remember any particular children or young people in your childhood that your mum and dad fostered that really stood out? You know, like ones that you'll probably never forget.
The first one we'll never forget. Yeah, the first one. And then there was another little girl who I had a really good bond with. She had some additional needs, and I feel like with my job I could help her that little bit extra, and we had a really close bond. I used to take her to dance every weekend because that's what she wanted to do. And I feel like certain ones do stick with you because you get that closer bond with certain children. Yeah.
So you are going to be continuing working, aren't you, whilst you're foster caring? Tell us about your job then, Hayley.
So I'm a nursery nurse.
Right, okay.
I've done it for 17 years.
Oh, wow.
So it's all I've ever done.
Yeah.
I've gone bank at work. So if I get a call, then I'm not going into work.
Yeah.
And then if I haven't got a child, then I will be going into work. So
yeah.
that'd be
And that
nice.
can be something that sometimes people think if they work, they can't foster. And that's another misconception, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, because the child obviously comes first, and then if they're at school, you can go to work, or, you know, they might have contact daily, then you can do something. You know, I'm going bank, so, you know, I can go to work and then not go to work. Got that flexibility.
Yeah. And you feel confident that you're going to have lots of support around you, as I imagine your mum and dad did when they were fostering when you were a child. There's always lots of support, isn't there? You're never really by yourself.
No, never by yourself, really. Obviously, you've got family, you've got friends, and then you've got the fostering agency as well. And then you get buddies, you know, you get in touch with them. And that's other foster carers that you can have, you know, little chit chats to if you need some advice. You know, there's lots of people out there. You do lots of courses, and they give you places to go for certain situations if you need help and advice. So you're never on your own, no.
So Hayley, it's been so lovely chatting to you. And, you know, like you say, you know, your two biggest achievements in your life were learning to walk and your daughter, Shirley. Yeah. And who knows, your third one might be coming up now.
Absolutely, yeah. You never know.
Fostering journey.
Might be tomorrow. You never know. Hopefully it'll be sooner rather than later. But yeah, definitely. It will be a big achievement and really exciting. Can't wait.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.